What's up, guys? Jake here. So last night I went to the Lantern Festival for my very first time. For those of you who don't know, I'm not really sure if it's like ceremonial for anything or really the story behind it, but basically we went to this big park ground and you get a lantern. As soon as you go in, you get it with your ticket, and then at the same time everybody lights off the lanterns. So here's a quick video of that. So yeah, it's way cool. It was honestly probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life. Just the whole atmosphere and the vibe of it was just so cool. So the whole layout, it was at this big motorsports grounds out in Grantsville, Utah, kind of in the middle of nowhere. But they had it laid out so there was a bunch of camp spots, and each one had its own little fireplace. There was a stage. They were playing music, and it was just kind of like a cool atmosphere. There was tons and tons of people. It took me forever to get there. I actually had to park like 2 miles away and like run there because I was meeting my friends, so I drove by myself. But we got there. I got there close to sunset, and so it was pretty close when they were setting it off. And we got set up in our little camp spot, and then they just told us when to light them off. And everybody, I mean, there was thousands and thousands of lanterns. I can't even describe to you. Obviously, you saw by the video, but it was so beautiful. Videos truly don't do it justice, like the beauty of the whole thing. But definitely an experience I'll never forget, and something I would recommend. If any of you guys, wherever they come to, if you have a chance to go, I would highly recommend it. It was $50 for the ticket, but to me personally, it was worth every penny. I'm a big believer of experiences over things, and that was an experience that was definitely worth the money. But not just that, and I kind of went on a little rant on my Instagram story about this, but just thinking about why I enjoyed it so much. And I think a big reason was because of just how good and positive the vibes of everybody was. It was just like a good atmosphere where you could tell everybody was just there having a good time. It was just like love from everybody, and you could just feel that. It was just so beautiful. Like, everybody was so happy. And actually, a couple that was with our group that we went, the boyfriend proposed to his girlfriend, which was also really cool. I've never seen like an actual proposal in real life, so that was way cool. And then that just everybody around was so happy for him, videoing, and it was just like such a happy atmosphere. And this is the tangent I went off kind of on my Instagram story, but just thinking about perspective and how much of a difference it makes to have a positive outlook on life, even with all the negative things that are going on in the world right now. We're constantly, especially right now, being bombarded politically and in the news of all the negative things and the bad things that are going on in the world. But it really put just life into perspective for me last night, just thinking that regardless of what's going on, you can always find something to be grateful and appreciative for. And if you look for it, man, there's just love. There's so much love and positivity out there, and you really just, you have to open your eyes to it and realize and actually look for it. Because like I said, we're getting negativity just jammed down our throat every single day. But at the end of the day, your quality of life is going to be determined on like just your perspective of everything. Every situation, you can have a positive perspective or a bad perspective, and whatever you choose is going to determine the quality of life and how you feel each and every day when you wake up. You can wake up energized and excited for the day and ready to go after your goals. You can wake up unmotivated and tired and saying, why me, and why does this have to happen? And once you get into that state, it's kind of hard to get out. So you have to be very careful to guard your mind, because one thing I've learned is that it can be very easy to get into a negative pattern, especially depending on who you surround yourself with. If you're around people who are always negative and complaining and feeling like people are out to get them and they can't get a break or anything like that, it can get contagious. And regardless of how positive of a person you are, it can really start to affect your psyche and your mental attitude each and every day. So you need to really audit who you hang out with and make sure those people are, planting positive seeds into your head as opposed to bad seeds. But yeah, it's just really about looking and focusing on the good things and actually making a conscious effort to find good things that are going on in the world and in your day-to-day life, looking for those small little things that a lot of times we take for granted. There's so many blessings that you have each and every day. The fact that if you live in a house and have running water, that's something that a good majority of the world doesn't have. And so if you learn to recognize that as opposed to taking it for granted, if you have a car that you can drive, if you have a job that actually pays you money to live, and you have friends and you have like loving family, I mean, the list goes on and on. There's so many amazing things. If you live in, here in Utah, like the mountains, like being able to go up and feel safe where I live and go up and go hiking, and it's a beautiful day outside, it's sunny weather. Like there's a million things you can just think of to be grateful for if you just switch that perspective and start looking for that as opposed to looking at all the crap that's going on in the world. So yeah, I think a big thing that people need to start thinking about is what they're consuming each day. I mean, if you're watching the news, it's going to be very hard because most of what you're seeing on there is just negativity. Whereas me personally, what I've found to help me the most as far as being positive is I just watch YouTube videos every day. I watch people, motivational people. I want to give a shout out because he's influenced my life so much, but Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, I literally every morning when I wake up, I put my headphones on and I watch like one of his daily V's or Ask Gary V's or any of his content, because he just pushes positivity so hard and he believes in so many of the things that I believe in. And man, it just makes all the difference to have that positive message, especially first thing in the morning, to be bombarded with positivity and inspiration and people working hard and motivated and fired up for their goals. That's contagious, and people don't often realize that we can get into patterns and they become so difficult to break once you get there. So that's one small tip I have, is just if there's anybody that like on YouTube or something, like heck, like consume that content. Like a mentor, people that you surround yourself, doesn't necessarily have to be in person. Like it can be videos, like it's just the content that you're consuming. I mean, it's just the messages that are going into your mind and how you're perceiving them. So I just wanted to kind of, I don't know how I got on this tangent. I was just thinking about it, but I mainly just wanted to share my experience at the Lantern Festival, because yeah, it was just a really good experience for me and filled my heart with joy and gratitude. And I think they're coming again in August, and I almost certainly will go to that again because it was just a great time all around. But just wanted to go on that little tangent. Something on my mind that I wanted to share with you guys. But hope you all have a great day. Still about 3 weeks out from my prep. Feeling good. Please subscribe if you're not already. But yeah, have a good one, guys.